Hiya, kiddos. I'm glad you're here today. I got some of my friends here always, but it's never complete until you come and join us. Well, you know what this is. This is Dr. Seuss time, so we get to read today one that's really a fun one, I think. Anyways, it's Horton hatches the egg. What? Horton the elephant hatches the egg? Remember, this is Dr. Seuss, so it's a little bit longer than most of the ones we read. So make sure you're comfy and you have your hats on all nice and snug and tug. And get ready because we're going to read and it gets some exciting parts. And then there's some we got to sneak up on and you got to listen. So here we go. Horton hatches the egg. Sighed Maisie, a lazy bird hatching an egg. I'm tired and I'm bored and I have kinks in my leg from just sitting here day after day. It's work, how I hate it. I'd much rather play. I'd take a vacation, fly off for a rest if I could find someone to set on my nest. If I could find someone, I'd fly free. Uh-oh. See, here she is, all the way up there. Yeah, if she could just find somebody to set on her egg, huh? Then Horton, the elephant, passed by her tree. Hello, called the lazy bird, smiling her best. You've nothing to do, and I need a rest. Would you like to sit on the egg in my nest? Horton laughed. Why, of all silly things, I haven't feathers and I haven't wings. Me on your egg? Why, that doesn't make sense. Your egg is so small, ma'am, and I'm immense. Tut, tut, answered Maisie. I know you're not small, but I'm sure you can do it. No trouble at all. Just sit on it softly. You're gentle and kind. Come by, good fellow. I know you won't mind. I can't, said Horton. Please, begged the bird. I won't be long. I won't be gone long at all. I won't be. I give you my word. I'll hurry right back. Why, I'll never be missed. Okay, so now Horton's got to think and says, very well, said the elephant, since you insist. You want a vacation, go fly and take it. I'll sit on your egg and I'll try not to break it. I'll stay and be faithful, I mean what I say. Toodle-doo, sang out Maisie and fluttered away. Uh-oh, there she goes. She's gone. Yep. So Horton now has to sit on her egg. How's a big elephant going to sit on an egg up in it? Wait a minute, what? Horton said. The first thing I've got to do, murmured Horton. Let's see. The first thing to do is to prop up this tree and make it much stronger. That has to be done. Before I get on it, I must weigh a ton. Oh, see, he's putting braces under it so that he can get up and sit on the egg. Then carefully, tenderly, gently, he crept up the trunk to the nest where the little egg slept. Oh, now look at it. See? He's getting up on the tree. Oh, wow. Then Horton, the elephant, smiled. Now that's that. And he sat, and he sat, and he sat, and he sat. See? He's just sitting there like a good well, like a good mommy bird should do, but I don't know about an elephant. And he sat all day, and he kept the egg warm, and he sat all night through a terrible storm. It poured, and it lightened, it thundered, and it rumbled. This isn't much fun, the poor elephant grumbled. I wish she'd come back, 'cause I'm cold and I'm wet. I hope that Maisie bird doesn't forget. Oh, look at poor Horton sitting out on the tree in the rain. That's no fun, is it? No. I've been out in the rain. We have that kind of monsoon rain here in Arizona. But Maisie, by this time, was far beyond reach, enjoying the sunshine way off Palm Beach. And having such fun, such a wonderful rest, decided she'd never go back to her nest. Oh no, see her sitting up in the tree there? Yeah, on the beach. Oh no, then wait a minute, if she doesn't go back, oh. So Horton kept waiting and sitting there day after day, and soon it was autumn. The leaves blew away, and then came the winter. The snow and the sleet, and icicles hung from his trunk and his feet. But Horton kept sitting and said with a sneeze, I'll stay on this egg and I won't let it freeze. I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful 100%. Oh no, look at he's got icicles hanging down on him. So poor Horton sat there the whole winter through. And then came the springtime with troubles anew. His friends gathered round and they shouted with glee, Look, Horton the elephant's up in the tree. They taunted, they teased him, they yelled how absurd. Old Horton the elephant thinks he's a bird. What do you think? He doesn't think he's a bird, does he? No, his friends aren't being very nice. They laughed and they laughed. Then they all ran away, and Horton was lonely. He wanted to play. But he sat on the egg and continued to say, I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful 100%. Well, that's good. No matter what happens, this egg must be tended. But poor Horton's troubles were far from ended. For while Horton sat there, so faithful, so kind, 3 hunters came sneaking up softly behind. See the hunters sneaking up from behind? Yeah, and he can't see them because his back's turned. He's sitting on the egg. He heard the men's footsteps. He turned with a start. 3 rifles were aiming right straight at his heart. Oh no. Did he run? Did he run? Did he run? No, he did not. Horton stayed on that nest. He held his head high, and he threw out his chest, and he looked at the hunters, as much as to say, shoot if you must, but I won't run away. I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful 100%. Oh no, look at, they're aiming their guns right at him. Oh, and poor Horton. But the men didn't shoot. Much to Horton's surprise, they dropped their 3 guns, and they stared with wide eyes. Look, they all shouted, can you see such a thing? An elephant sitting on top of a tree. It's strange, it's amazing, it's wonderful, it's new. Don't shoot him, we'll catch him. That's just what we'll do. Let's take him alive. Why, he's terribly funny. We'll sell him back home to the circus for money. Oh no, Horton. And the first thing he knew, they had built a big wagon with ropes on the front for the pullers to drag on. They dug up his tree. They put it inside with Horton so sad he practically cried. "We're off!" shouted the men, and they all went, with Horton unhappy 100%. Oh no, look, they put him in a wagon, kind of like the police have where they take you to jail. It's the same thing, except that police don't do that unless you do something bad. Up out of the jungle, up into the sky, up over the mountains, 10,000 feet high. Then down, 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 down the mountains and down to the sea went the cart with the elephant, egg, nest, and tree. Look it. That must have been hard getting him up that mountain with those two guys pulling. Then out of the wagon and onto the ship and out over the ocean. Whoa, what a trip. Rolling and tossing and splashed with the spray. And Horton said day after day, "I meant what I said. And I said what I meant. But oh, am I seasick? 100%. I've been seasick. It's not nice." After bobbing around for 2 weeks like a cork, they landed at last in the town of New York. "All ashore," the men shouted, and down with a lurch went Horton the elephant, still on his perch, tied onto a board that could just scarcely hold him. Bump! Horton landed, and the men sold him. Oh, poor Horton, look at it. That's terrible that he got sold. But what happened? He was sold to a circus. Then week after week, they showed him to people at 10 cents a peek. They took him to Boston, to Kalamazoo, Chicago, Wichita, and Washington too, to Dayton, Ohio, St. Paul, Minnesota, to Wichita, Kansas, to Drake, North Dakota. And everywhere thousands of folks flocked to see and laugh at the elephant up in a tree. Poor Horton grew sadder, and farther he went, but he said as he sat in the hot, noisy tent, "I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful 100%. Say that he was a part of a sideshow in a circus. Sad." Then, one day, the circus show happened to reach a town way down south, not so far from Palm Beach, and dawdling along way up in the sky, who, of all people, should chance to fly by, but the old good-for-nothing bird, Runaway Maisie, still on vacation and still just as lazy. And spying the flags and the tents just below, she sang out, "What fun! Why, I'll go to the show." See, they got the tents and everything all set up and she wants to go down and see what all the noise is. And she swooped from the clouds through an open tent door. "Good gracious," gasped Maisie, "I've seen you before." Poor Horton looked up with his face as white as chalk. He started to speak, but before he could talk, there rang out the noisiest, ear-splitting squeak. Squeak! From the egg that he'd sat on for 51 weeks. That's almost a year. 52 weeks is a year. A thumping, a bumping, a wild, alive scratching. My egg, shouted Horton. My egg, my egg. Why, it's hatching. Look at, see? It's making all kinds of noises and stuff, and they know it's hatching. But it's mine, screamed the bird when she heard the egg crack. The work was all done. Now she wanted it back. It's my egg, she sputtered. You stole it from me. Get off my nest and get out of my tree. Poor Horton, back down with a sad, sad, heavy heart. Look at him, he is sad. See, look at him, yeah. Well, but at that very instant, the egg burst apart, and out of the pieces of red and white shell from the egg that he'd set on so long and so well, Horton the elephant saw something whiz. It had ears, it had a tail, and a trunk just like his. Oh, goodness. It was a flying elephant. And the people came shouting, what's this all about? They looked and they stared with their eyes popping out. Then they cheered and they cheered and they cheered. Yay! Hip, hip, hooray! More and more. They'd never seen anything like it before. My goodness, my gracious, they shouted, my word! It's something brand new. It's an elephant bird. And it should be like that. Because Horton was faithful. And he sat and he sat. He meant what he said and he said what he meant. See? It's important that if you tell somebody you're going to do something, it's important you keep your word. And they sent him home happy 100%. He took his kids that he'd set on for 51 weeks. Goodness, he really shows us, kiddos, the importance of keeping your word and caring for others. So remember, as you're finishing up with this and we're heading to the next one, I hope, remember, be nice to everybody and when you say something, mean it, because it's what I said what I said, and I mean what I mean. Y'all, thanks for coming, and hope you enjoy. Dr. Seuss is going to be some more. Have a great, smiley Kids Day.